happens because I feel the same. I'm like, let's hope this doesn't
Yeah,
transfer.
I'm like, what do I eat? Do I eat food or lipstick at this point? Like.
Good reminder that if things get that bad, I can always resort to eating my lipstick. I would never do that. That's too expensive, but you know.
Yeah, that would be a bit. I
Worst
think
case scenario.
it needs a bit of help, but like that's what happens when I. First of all, I play myself and I use a bullet lipstick because if I were to do liquid, it would take me 25 years.
Yeah, I can't. I'm bad enough with my bullet lipstick, always like accidentally, and it's honestly an accident, accidentally overdrawing my lips. But with a liquid lipstick, the last couple times I've tried, which has been a while, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
do
on the day of my life with Audra, I was going to do the Maybelline red one, the one
that like stays forever.
Yeah, the one that stays for forever. Yeah, and I started and I was like, okay, so this is a whole day situation. Oh, I see peeps showing
Bethany.
up. Hey, Bethany. So like the lipstick I'm wearing it's this Rimmel one that I had in my lipstick bag.
Oh, nice.
Random.
And Ruthie, hello, my dear Ruthie. I decided to wear this as not as a taunt, but as in honor of you. I wore one of my Lisa Eldridge.
Oh, yeah, you know I love those
skyscraper rose. Yes.
They're like my.
One day I'm gonna get you. One day you're gonna get one. We're gonna figure it out. Like I'm either gonna have the money, or I'm just gonna be like,
crush
for you, Fefy, or
I
we'll
was
figure.
I was like low key wanting to put it on the wish list, and then I was like, no, this is too expensive to put on the wish list. Like this too bougie. Like why would I put something so bougie?
I mean, you should put whatever you want on your wish list. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
And Thorn, hello.
Hi,
Thorn. Do you do I'm asking, like, I haven't watched every one of your podcasts, but do you do any kind of intro for the podcast, or do
I do when people show up.
Okay. Oh yeah, no rush. I just wanted to like I'm just getting the scope of the land. I'm like, I've watched every single one of these. I know how they work, but you know,
yeah, it happens, and sometimes I just get it happens like 2 times that I just go straight into talking, and I'm like, oh, I was supposed to do an intro, wasn't I? Like I'm supposed to be a podcaster, and I'm here like
I should do the thing, but then I forget to do the thing.
I was going to do the thing, and then I didn't. Like, yeah, basically.
I have no idea where like the last 3 hours of I would say the last like 3 months of my life. I was gonna say the last 3 hours of my day went, and Thorn said supposed to be Fefy. You are a podcaster. You are a podcaster, and you should make the wish list and put all the things on the wish list. But Fefy, you are a podcaster. You are a writer. You are a comedian. You are a podcaster. You are a content creator, social media person. Like you're doing the things. And you're doing amazing.
I am. I'm awkward, but like, I don't have a blanket to hide behind.
You understand why I wear this a lot? Is if I'm feeling uncomfortable, I could just hoodie up. Actually, I can't with this wig on. Never mind. But I feel like I can.
Yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot to have like a hide in embarrassment from the compliments.
Audra in the house. Hello, my love. We're doing the casual start, and then we'll
we're doing the like letting peeps show up, and then we
that about Twitch, like that. It's like more of like a let people. It's like a party, like let people show up and get comfy, and then you're like, okay, now's time.
Has someone told Mo, or were you coming from Mo's live because she wanted to raid? And I completely forgot to tell her because I was like ready, trying to get ready the link for StreamYard.
Um, I'm putting it in the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of the mods are actually.
There's a bot.
Oh, oh, thank you, Bethany.
Yeah, you told Mo. Thank you. Yeah.
Also, Thorin said, yes, Emily, Twitch culture is much more. I don't want to miss this, so people do the startup screens. I like it. And thank you, Audra, for blocking the bot and Thorin for banning them. Okay. That's, yeah, that's kind of
Mo
a
was
nice,
doing
like
some stuff on her live as well. That wasn't very
some
pleasant.
stuff. Okay. I missed everything this morning, but I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
And welcome, Thorin.
I was doing my makeup, so I wasn't able to see the stuff. But
Yes. I was like doing the works and
thank you, Sword Squad, for always being the best.
the
Here,
swords.
here, we don't have wrenches. We have swords. We're more savage.
I mean, it is a streaming platform, so yeah.
Very appropriate to the
Oh,
theme. But
Audra, you're sweet. As soon as I get in the house, I'm gonna tweet out this live. Oh.
aww,
Mo will be raiding very soon, according to Lauren.
yay! Excited for the raid. So now that a whole bunch of other people have showed up, I wanted to welcome everyone to today's episode of One More Thing with Fefy. Today, with special guest Emily Hanhan.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Fefy. I'm so happy to be
which
here.
is, which is a thing that was like a long time coming. How long have we been talking about like we have to do something, we have to do something, we have to do something we have to do a live.
Well, and it's funny because I'm just gonna go right into the fact that like I feel like for years I was like, why is Fefy not making things on the internet? She is hilarious. And so then when you started making things, I was like, wait. Like we have to make
We gotta
things.
go live. Yeah, it was like a thing in which we met like for background, we met on the chats of Half Cousins podcast.
Yes.
And it was always like basically us being Spider-Man meme, agreeing with each other. We have a whole bunch of stuff in common, I feel.
Yes. And that went on for years. Like Half Cousins was not like a short, like it was
Yeah,
I feel like it was a while. I don't remember how long it because
yeah,
unfortunately RIP, they're not doing Half Cousins
yeah.
anymore.
Like,
But it's
I
cool.
like
Everything
it
evolves.
hasn't been that many years, but like it feels like you're one of the people in LGG that I'm like, I feel like I've known you forever. Like, and the other people
Agreed.
from the
Agreed.
other people
Yeah.
from House Cousins, yeah.
Toya says, hi, my gorgeous friend. Hello,
Hi.
sweet baby angel. I don't know why I'm saying that lately, but like, hello, Toya. Frog says hi. Audra says, you were so worried about your accent. I don't know why it's delightful. Exactly. I was like, I don't even care what it could be. I don't care what the accent could be. Because, like, it doesn't matter. You are like witty and intelligent and lovely. But yeah, I think Half Cousins was at least 2 years before
Yeah,
LGG and
yeah,
our
it
lives
has to be like
started.
at least 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Um,
this legit feels like I talk to you and other people on LTG like as much as I talk to like people I have known for 10 years. So it's like very
this year has been a weird year in terms of communication because, like,
also are we sure about how many years has it been considering 2020 has lasted like 100? Like
it's been
I am not
it's been
sure about that
102 years. Like that's what it feels like. 2020 is testing every single day, every single like the limits of what I understand about time.
Honestly, we're all the lady from Titanic. Like it's been 84 years.
Yes. Like, wait, it's been it's because every day I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already this date
and
in the year. But then at
and
the same time, I'm
it's like,
like,
oh, remember that thing that happened, and you're like, wait, that happened in April? Like, it's like
I
that
had a
didn't happen
similar
in
reaction
2019?
of like Audra and I. Like we started streaming late April. I think the last I looked it up, if I remember right, it was like April 20 something, like the 23rd or
Yeah,
something was
yeah,
the first time.
definitely. Yeah, it was definitely like somewhere in April, because I
Yeah.
remember like I was bummed about my birthday, and my
Oh
birthday is after
yeah.
August. Yeah.
But I feel like in my head it's like, oh, as soon as like masking and quarantine hit, we were doing this. But no, because that was March. Like for me, like I remember mid-March was when like I feel like it was like March 13th. I have this weird thing for the numbers, but hey Eeyore, welcome
There
to
you
our
go. Oh, the
fan
red is
hammer
here. It is
pro.
already here.
um but yeah, I keep thinking like, oh yeah, like towards the beginning of March. No, no, no. We didn't start streaming until the towards the end of April. And I'm like, the things that have happened in that time,
Yeah, it
like
just
blow my
feels
mind.
like a long time, because like
Yes.
time, what is time? Like time isn't real. Time is a scam. Time,
Time is a scam. Yes. Also, welcome Mo, Yoga with Mo. And Eora
welcome.
said, y'all look stunning as always. And
Oh,
Thorn
thank
said,
you.
right, Audra? I agree. You are delightful, including the accent. So yeah.
Yeah, I was worried, because like sometimes I get very into my head about stuff, and I'm like, I sound like a Latina comedy relief character on a sitcom, and like
And my asshole brain is like, but is that a bad thing? But I know it's a bad thing because you're saying um and frogs, I don't know time. We are not related. That is very relatable. We love you, Fefy, and your voice. We love
oh,
everything
thank
about
you.
Fefy.
Yeah, I was like, time. I don't know her. Like, who is she?
Not me looking at the clock and realizing it's like 6 p.m. when the last
Oh
I
my
thought
god,
it was the time
yes,
was like 10 a.m. And I'm like,
yes. Like, also
mhm.
like the thing that we were going to talk about, which is related to this. So
Yes.
like, we're letting things be like more organic in terms of the conversation. But we're going to talk about like our internet origin stories, and like talk about how time is fake, and like, do you mean like what the hell do you mean the early 2000s weren't yesterday? Like, I'm sorry, what?
Like, excuse me. Also,
Like, I
it's
feel
frog.
very
It's frogs. Is your name Astrid? Because that's helpful.
yeah,
Okay, good,
absolutely, yeah.
Astrid. And Mo, take your time. Mo said, I do pictures and then eat, and then you have my undivided attention. Take your time.
Yeah, it's okay, Mo. Do
Yes.
your thing. Care for yourself.
And Lori said, I legit thought you had grown your hair out, Emily. I'm like, oh, this is my pink wig. And yes, absolutely, we love your voice, Feffy, from
Oh,
Ruthie.
thank
Eora
you.
says yes. And Astra said, you have a nice voice. But
Oh,
but yeah, I think about that a lot where I'm like, the early 2000s are now almost 20 years ago. Like,
yeah, like we are like this close to songs from the early 2000s, or maybe that already started, like playing in like all these radio
I
stations.
feel like it probably already started because those oldies radio stations are assholes.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like 90s music, definitely.
oh,
70s,
absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Toya said the red wig is my favorite, and I
Oh my god,
love
yes,
that
it looks
one.
so good. It looks so good on you. Like,
And I've discovered I need to make time to post the pictures. I'll at least try to do it in LGG, but like it can be sleek, but I also realized it can be like tousled out, and it's like 80s rock girl, like the
yeah,
sexy
I
rock girl
love
in the
it because
in
of
the
that.
in
Because
like the music videos when those used to be a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I know those still exist, but it doesn't feel the same.
Speaking of, remember when? Like,
Yes. Thank you, Lori. Lori said Emily kills it with the red wig.
hmm,
Yes, Tawny
yeah,
Katane, Audra. Tawny Katane. Like very much that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I think about a lot. So I know with like the kind of stuff I do on like on the internet right now, like both as like my hobbies and I guess my job. Anyway, I feel very comfortable on the internet, and I think it's because I have been doing like my college had a message board that was like 4chan or Reddit before Reddit was a thing. But I
Ooh.
realized too, I was active in groups like that before even college, like probably early teenage years. I was doing like community things on the internet.
Yeah, and that's like a cultural difference between us
Ah, okay.
because like I didn't get like, I mean, I was like on the internet like to do homework and stuff, and like, dial up internet, the struggle, like
Yes.
waiting for my aunt to stop using the phone so I could use
See,
the internet and I could look up something to write a report, the
yes.
usual. Um, but like having like faster internet and like being able to be on the internet for longer and like do stuff on the internet, like more
Yeah.
community based stuff, that was like, this is some rich people shit. Like,
Very fair because I don't know. Hmm. I can't remember what the status of our internet was but it was definitely pre college. Because for me, early 2000s, well, no, no, no. Okay. I always get this mixed up in my head. I graduated high school in '03. So early 2000s was high school. So actually, yeah, that was definitely where I was at the height of like
yeah, like
coming into that world. Also,
my
welcome Cecily. She came in.
welcome. Yeah, my first experience was like,
Mhm.
but it was like very short lived because the phone bill was something. And I definitely got yelled at, even though I was enabled by my aunt who lived with me at the time. Like, so I
Family
am
throwing us
going
under
to,
the bus.
I am going to surprise no one with this story, honestly. Like, everyone's going to be like, yeah, this is on brand for Fefy. There was this telenovela that I was watching, and the ending pissed me off so much because they killed the protagonist. And I
This
was
is
like,
so iconically Feffy, I have to
And
say.
I, and I was like, where should I complain about this terrible injustice? So I went on the channel, on the networks. This is a telenovela that was aired by the Chilean state network. So like very easy to find everywhere. And I was like, I'm going on the website and I'm going to put a complaint. I'm going to be a Karen, basically. And my aunt was pissed off because she loved that character, and she was like, why did they kill him? He was finally going to be happy with the love of his life, blah 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 blah. And then we were like, it was it was like,
So
which year was this? It was like, I think it was like 2001 or 2000. So I was like, why was it like 15, 16? So like
yeah.
small Fefy, like being a
And
tiny volcano of rage, like because they
Cecily,
killed the protagonist.
like Cecily said, Feffy is like, I'm so mad I need to complain with other people at like age 15. And Eeyore is cackling like I am about the situation, just
Yeah.
like
So
laughing.
like I went and I realized that there were message boards on the channel
Like
website.
mind exploded
Yeah,
probably in
I
that
was like,
moment.
oh, there's a place where other people are also complaining about this. This is
I found
amazing.
my
I am
people.
going to I am going to go right. And I wrote the complaint, and other people agreed with me. But then I left because I was scared, because people on the internet, stranger danger. Like, I don't know what your relationship with that is, because like I think we got a lot of that, and now that we've been on the internet so long, we're like, fuck it.
It is so funny because yes, I definitely did get the stranger danger of it all, but then I think it was like going off to probably going off to college,
Mm-hmm.
because that was the first time I was active online where I could become friendly with people online that were in the same city I was in the same university I was in, but we just hadn't met in real life. But like in high school, definitely. But I was also up in like AOL instant messaging chats, like the AIM chats, like talking to people and like catfishing or doing like random things. So I always understood the idea of stranger danger, but it was
Yeah.
also kind of like, I think there was that weird invincibility of it, of just like, I mean, I'm a kid doing shit on this
Mm-hmm.
internet, like
Yeah, like
whatever, nothing
YOLO
can harm
before
me.
YOLO was a thing.
Also, before I realized that like everything that's on the internet is permanent.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
I think about that a lot now when thinking about like teenagers that are coming up now. And yeah, you are in
yeah,
big mood, Fefy. But
yeah,
yeah, stranger danger was definitely a thing. I think I just maybe kind of ignored it a little bit.
yeah. Here it was definitely a thing, and I was like, I had my here we didn't do the same like instant messenger. I think
Yeah.
probably the closest thing we did was like MSN, but like for MSN you had to have the other person's like email.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
You couldn't just like wander into a chat room. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
you had to be at least acquaintances with the person, but like and there was and but my family was concerned anyway, and they were like, you're not going into those chat rooms, are you? Like
as and then Mo
those
is talking
people,
about talking
they're
to
going to kidnap
strangers.
you and stuff.
Talking to strangers in the ICQ chat, doing shit on this internet from Eeyore mood. And yeah, I didn't be as cautious as I should have. Growing up on the cusp was weird. Yes, like
Yeah.
there is this weird thing about like the learning this new thing and not necessarily knowing what you're oh wait, oh, you are talking to strangers on video chat as a teen on Omegle. I never
Oh
got into Omegle, and I realized too, Eeyore is younger than
yeah,
us, so like
yeah,
I think of the cusp different than like other people think of the cusp, but I think it's just like your personal experience. But I
yeah.
definitely talked to a lot of strangers in AIM chat rooms. We never
Hmm.
went to video because it wasn't that technologically advanced then,
Hmm.
but there was some, I don't even remember, but I just know there was some fucking like it was
Yeah, when
not
people are like,
not a kid friendly space.
when people are like oh, I younger than me, they're like, oh, I would talk to strangers on the internet, like I would go on Omegle, which is a thing that I knew about because of Tumblr, honestly. uh because yeah, yes, I was that person, yeah, I was on Tumblr, but like and meanwhile I am like putting my old binge hat here and being like, well, my only experience with talking to strangers was when I was in high school and I had a pen pal. Like,
Okay, but that happened. I ended up becoming pen pals with a person that I met through like was it my first online community? I think it was. And I've mentioned this in like stream, like I've mentioned this before, but I don't know if it still exists. But there was literally a website called writing.com. And I'm pretty sure I was in high school and I liked writing. And I was just like, but I might have ended up there, honestly, looking for. I'm gonna wait to. I was like, I might have ended up there looking for like erotica because written word sometimes is the biggest activator. But
yeah,
then I found that
honestly.
there was this whole community of group story writing where you could sign up to be in like, and a lot of it was fantasy or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
magic or villains or superheroes or things like that. But I met people on there, and one person in particular I clicked with, and like we found each other we found each other on Facebook. So that was probably right between the cusp of high school and college because I got Facebook right in college. But like we were writing to each other separate from the site. We were like, we sent letters to each other. It was an awesome space, but it's just weird how I don't even remember how I found that space. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
and
The amount of times I'm like trying to remember how I met. I have met so many people on the internet that I'm like,
yes,
when the heck did I meet these people? Like the only people I can trace is like you and other people I met on Half Cousins
yeah,
because it's recent, and also
yes,
my Chilean forum friends because like we were in
yes,
like this huge. I have mentioned before, like after that experience in the network message boards,
yes.
a few years passed. I finally got fast internet.
Nice.
We were
Yay.
finally able to afford non-dial-up, and so I was in university. I was first year of university, so I was 19 because I took a gap year. Um, and there was this telenovela again that I really enjoyed, and there's this huge forum that still exists, and that I am not even going to mention it. It's the forum that must not be named. I have so many issues with those
One of those kinds of
people.
forums.
like
Okay.
like
Okay.
if the same mods are still dead, are still there, honestly, fuck those people.
Yeah.
uh,
No, like
and then, like it
mod
was
there
this.
the being a mod is definitely something. I also just wanted to say Mo was talking to strangers in 1996 in chat rooms at summer internet day camp. That's
Ooh.
interesting. And Cecily, my older kids, 22 and 24, used Omegle, but I was always out of the room because sad
Yeah,
face.
that's a mess. So like this forum that I'm talking about is like huge, like
Wow.
thousands of users. So like even though I have Vogue magazine worth of issues with the mods, I'm like, that's some work. Like I appreciate them, but also you treated a whole bunch of people like crap, and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so there was this telenovela that was huge, like everyone was watching it, but my friends happened to like not either not be into telenovelas or like
Mhm.
I am too busy being a faster student than you. Like, I don't know, but
I'm too busy prioritizing school over a
I, wa-
hobby.
I was a good student. Like I only failed one class, and it was because the TA and I never got along. So
That happens. It happens. Yeah.
yeah, so like I got into this forum to talk about this telenovela, and I met a whole bunch of people. And then this was the time where telenovelas lasted like a decent amount of time. Like no, they didn't last 2 years or a year, like 6 months, like it should be. Like Chilean telenovelas, like the usual older format.
Oh. Huh,
And
that's
it was
interesting.
like I would only go on like the board in which they were talking about this specific show. I wasn't going to the rest of the forum because I was like, I smell nonsense outside of this particular board.
You have a good intuition of smelling nonsense
Yeah, I
and
have had
sniffing
it for a
out
long
sus people. So I see that's existed for a while. I also
time.
just wanted to say, I wanted to say what Astrid said a few minutes ago. It was funny because I knew about more about internet safety than my parents, but they still tried to lecture me, and it only seemed silly. I think that's what it was because you clicked in. I was like, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the fact that you knew not to go in parts of the forum because you
yeah.
felt like you kind of
Like
knew it was
I
sus.
knew I knew not to go on like random chat rooms. I knew not to go on like other parts of the forum that seem sus. Like I
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
but but my family was like, oh wow, this internet thing, like it's so scary, you can get kidnapped or whatever. I was like, calm down, I'm not going to meet people in person. I did meet people in person later down
Yes.
the line, but I like, it was people that I have been talking for like 2 or 3 years, like,
Yeah.
and I have confirmed that they were in fact real people. um, they weren't catfishing me. So yeah, so this thing that happened, I have a story about my time on that
We want to
forum
hear.
that is like, my friend, the other day I was talking to one of my friends that I have known from there, and she was like, remember that time you had like a you got mail type situation with a telenovela writer? And I was like, I do remember that.
Okay, I need to hear this story. I am.
So
You. Yes.
so the first telenovela, the one that I got into the forum for, ended, and there was going to be another one coming up next. Like there were like airing the trailers and stuff, and I was like super interested because like, ooh, this subject seems cool, and like I really like the cast. Like this
Yeah.
actor hasn't been on a show in a whole bunch of times, and I remember they played a character I really liked, blah 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 blah. So I was like, okay, so we're opening a new board for this show, and we're all going to move there because we're all going to watch it to watch it. And then this guy shows up
Men.
on this board, and he's like an intellectual. Honestly, like, but like not rude
You see how
about
I
it,
already have a headache?
not rude about it, but he was
Oh,
like
okay.
already based on the trailer, like writing meta about the show, like a whole essay and stuff. And then I was like I really want to watch this show. But I remember when the head writer for this show was working on the other network, and I never liked his stuff because it was so convoluted and contrived, and like the characters never felt realistic to me. It was very rich people-y, very like unattainable. So I went on I would rant about this guy constantly. And this guy would be like, oh wow, I have never seen this from this, I have never seen his writing from this point of view. That is so interesting, like I really enjoy reading your thoughts and stuff. And like, so we became friends.
Yeah.
So every time I would write meta about something, he would reply writing his own wall of text, like agreeing with me and shit, like. And then there was like drama in the forum.
As there always
Everything
is.
everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, and we had to move. And we were like, you know what? Fuck these people because they're being terrible to us. Like they were letting the mods were letting people from the other forum, from like the rival
Yeah.
uh
Forum.
telenovela, like
Uh,
be
yeah.
super shitty to us because one of the mods was a fan. And it was like the big name mod who was a fan. So we were like, you know what? I'm tired of this guy. We're all tired of this guy.
Say
We're
what
going
is.
to
That's not true.
and we had a friend who was great with computers and with the internet and stuff. And she was like, I am making our own forum. So like we all moved, including this guy. And and
Amazing.
my friend, and I have this friend who is Spanish, but she is a huge fan of Chilean telenovelas. So because they were like all the rage in Spain at the
Oh,
time, like.
interesting. Okay.
So so she was like, and we became like super good friends. We were like, oh, when you have a kid, I'm going to be, I will tell her, like, when you have a kid, I'm going to be the
Oh,
godmother, like stuff like that. and
that's so
we would
cute.
be and we would be talking like in DMs about this guy and how he was so attractive
Patter
because he was
pattering.
so smart. Like,
I
I was
love
like,
it.
you know what? Like sometimes he can sound like borderline pretentious, but he gives us so much like credit for stuff that he's not, that he's actually not. And like, and you know my thing about people who are enthusiastic about
Yes, yes, yes,
like
yes.
this
Yeah.
guy would go in about like the story of like other telenovelas and how much he had, and like comparing shit to books, and like doing all the stuff that I love to do myself. So I was like, okay, so we see each other.
And I feel like
While
there's
at the same, while at the same time, I was completely eviscerating the head writer from the telenovela that we were about to watch. Like I was destroying that guy because like I didn't trust him or his writing.
fair.
But
It's I think it's interesting though how some people can be
mhm, mhm,
pretentious, but
mhm.
they're just charming enough, or
Yeah,
they're just like they're so into it enough where it's like it doesn't rub me the wrong way. Where I'm
yeah,
like, if you weren't so enthusiastic,
yeah.
so like
Also,
just
yeah,
into it, then I would probably be like,
yeah,
please.
absolutely. Yeah.
But
Also, Mo, I don't know if you're in chat, Mo, but like, if you see the plot twist, because I know you see the plot twist, don't spoil it. uh, so,
also,
so
I
like,
love you were saying, I love that he listened to you and it was an exchange of ideas.
yeah,
Exactly.
and then like we did a writing contest, and he was like one of the judges because like I was like, because we decided like this guy can write, like we have
Yeah.
all read his meta, like this guy can write, and I won the contest, and like I was like, he thinks I'm a good writer. Oh my god! Like, so
Your
we were
face
all
just
like,
made me so
we were
happy.
all like, and this is like 19-year-old me who was madly in love with a philosophy major. So
Yeah.
mistakes were made. Like, um, so, and we were like talking about like my friend and I and like other girls in the about how we had a crush on this guy because like his brain, like I we were like, oh my god, his mind. Like, and like he really he really gets us, and he's like super sweet to everyone, and he's always like, oh, I hadn't seen this argument from you from this point of view, thank you for showing that to me. And then another guy who was and then another guy joined, and he was like, hi, I am a writer and I am writing for the rival telenovela. Like, do you accept me? Like, he was like, I don't think he was head writer, but he was part of the writing thing, and like it's confirmed,
Wow.
like it was him. Like we know it was him because later on he ended up falling in love with a friend of ours and marrying her. So like we know it's he's real. He wasn't catfishing. Anyway, so we were like,
Also,
and
I
and
just
but
love what Boo said. I never spoil the plot twist because I want people to have joy. I won't even tell you there's a plot twist.
so
Also,
like
welcome, Christine. I just thought that was sweet. Of just
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like, so
But
like,
an
so like
actual
we
writer.
became,
That's
so we
amazing.
were, yeah. So we were, so like we became friends with this guy. Like, oh hey, so and so. Like, it's really cool that you want to be with us, even though we're super into like the other show and like from the other network. Like, and he was like, well, I saw you comment on the other forum and I thought you were cool and stuff. Like we like the whole group like became really good friends, and we were going to meet. We ended up meeting actually, but the
Oh, that's
other but
amazing.
yeah, but this other guy couldn't make it. He was like, and we were like, oh, he's like mysterious, like he doesn't want to tell, to tell us a lot of stuff about himself. He's very into like the media analysis kind of part of it, and like the mystery is part of his charm, whatever. So we were obviously not going to meet, and then we met with this other guy who we knew his identity. Like he tried
Yeah.
to hide a thing. He tried to try. tried to have a secret identity for a couple of
He
for
failed.
a couple of weeks, and then he was like, you know what, I give up. I am this person. So
It's
we
amazing.
met, and that's when he and my friend clicked and fell in love. Actually, it was very sweet. Uh, and we were on the subway going to my friend's house, like all together, because we met in one subway station and we made a trip. We
Yeah,
had a house party as our meetup.
amazing.
And he was like, oh, so you won the contest that this guy that this guy was a judge for. And I was like, yeah, like I'm super pumped because he's a great writer. And he was like, well, that is a great compliment considering who he actually is. And we were all like, uh, you have information that we don't have. Like, please tell us everything.
Yeah, like you can't just drop that little nugget of gold and
And he
not say
was like,
more.
well, I know this guy's writing like the back of my hand because I went to school with him. So there was a lot of peer review, you
Yes.
know, reading of other people's writing. He was like, I know this guy's writing like the back of my hand because I had to review his stuff like a million times, and he had to review mine.
Yeah.
And he was like, you really don't know who he is? Like, he always knows what's going to happen. He doesn't spoil anything, but he always gives like hints of what's going to happen, like in the coming up next in the telenovela. Like, haven't you noticed that? And we were like, oh shit. And I was the first one to like that it clicked for me. I was like, oh shit, don't tell me, please don't tell me that this guy that I have like a brain crush on, that we're friends, like we were like friends, is the same guy that I have been talking shit about for like
Amazing.
over a year because I didn't like his previous work. So anyway, this is the stuff. So anyway, that was the story of how I was friends for like 2 years at least with one of the most prominent telenovela writers in my country.
Okay.
Without
I just
knowing
have to
that it was
say. Okay, so Eeyore in chat said you're an amazing writer, Fefy, and I agree. You're also an amazing storyteller because you literally had me along this entire story. Like, I was just like, wait, it's that shit. Like,
also I was also then I felt
also,
also.
Thor saying, Feffy, I am screaming. You're hilarious. Faye, I just woke up. I'm so upset. I missed most of this. You didn't miss most of this, but you should go back and watch the story that Feffy just told. Because
Oh my god! Also the thing was that's why I call it. That's why I call it like you got mail, but it ended up being platonic because like he saw me like you know the thing in You Got Mail in which Tom Hanks knows that Meg Ryan hates him, but he's still like,
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've read.
I didn't hate him. I thought that his writing was too rich people shit for my.
Which
His
goes back to
writing
the he could be pretentious, but he was so
like
enthusiastic.
his writing on the early years was way too rich for my blood. So like and I did watch a couple of his shows, so I wasn't like just talking out of my ass. I was like, you know what? Also, I felt really awkward about having a crush on him because then I was like, oh shit, he has a boyfriend. I remembered that he used to date the lead actress on one of the
Okay. So
shows.
you still had a
But
chance.
and that was the first, and I was like, and now that I think about, oh wow, did this guy was the one who introduced me to bisexuality? Like, thanks a lot, guy. Like,
You have an amazing story, all of these great memories, and an introduction to bisexuality. Like,
yeah, yeah.
can't
I was,
lose.
because I was a baby ignorant person who thought I was straight. So like I thought I honestly thought I was straight, which like, have you met me? How? Why?
I am the person that was like, oh yeah, I think I might have ended up on the writing website. That was my first online community because I was looking for erotica. And I was definitely looking for erotica focused on the female perspective because
Yeah.
like what, how did I think I was, did I ever think I was? I don't even remember now. I don't know if I ever thought I was straight, but I think I didn't question it until I questioned it.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is like it's like I never had my I know who you are moment. Like we all knew, and we were like, are we going to tell him that we know his secret? Like, are we going to tell him that we know that he's undercover here?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Because he was
how did that
undercover
like,
here.
what happened? Did he just like stop
Oh,
posting? Or
we ended up drifting apart because
okay,
the person who originally created the new forum ended up being a whole disaster of a person, and we took distance from her.
okay, that
And
makes
then we
sense.
got another forum to which he followed us, but he couldn't stay. And then I was like, oh right, like he just got like a huge, like,
Uh,
imagine like Shonda Rhimes deal with Netflix, but make it Chilean telenovelas. Like
okay,
it
yeah,
was
he
like
had to
it
like
was like, it was like, oh shit, this guy is busy.
yes. Also, I love Eeyore is doing a bi glam light donut look now.
Oh my
What a
god,
fucking coincidence. And yes, I
yeah.
definitely believed I was straight when I was crushing on girls hard, and then I was introduced.
Yeah, yeah. So like now I see him on TV sometimes because sometimes he gets interviewed, and I'm like, that's my friend. We haven't talked in years, but that's my, like, here's the thing about me and internet friends, or like friends in, like, especially but like internet friends. Like
Mhm.
once I am your friend, I am glitter. You can get rid of me. So
I think there's something about, I think especially like with internet friendships where there's not like drama or disrespect. It's just like
yeah,
you drifted apart because of life. Like I have friends like that I can think of that like if we reconnected, it would be probably just like I would catch up and learn about this person who they are now, but like you're still my friend. Um and then, oh, Thorne is saying I was getting ready for my Monday live while listening so I could get on the buy I trained.
oh
Yes.
my god, yes, do it.
Welcome. Don't apologize. Just welcome. No worries. You don't have to apologize about being late. But I will say y'all should
Yeah,
watch this when it goes up on YouTube.
yeah, you should
The
watch the
story that
story
Fefy just
like
told is
because like I had never I haven't told it in a while, and this happened because the other day I like kind of reconnected with one of my Chilean
mm,
forum friends, and it was like, remember when you and this guy, and I was like, first of all, it was definitely not me and this guy. He had a whole boyfriend. Like,
but I mean it could be both. Like it's not, we're not saying it's impossible.
I was like super into philosophy major guy at university. So
Oh no,
I
I
was,
love this.
here's the thing. I could do that because I was single. I was allowed to have my options open.
I love Thor's like he had a whole boyfriend. And then Mo is so sweet. Meanwhile, I did not believe anyone was straight because I thought you just love people for their soul, regardless of what body they were in. But no, it's apparently a me thing. I wish that was the situation.
Oh,
Uh,
so some people are definitely straight. Like That's the only way I can understand some choices that people make.
Also, Bethany says, I think this pandemic has validated parasocial relationships as very real. And I don't even think of internet friendships. I get what you're saying for sure, but I don't think about internet friendships as a in a parasocial dynamic, but that is an interesting way to consider it. But I think it's so like I wonder if this is true for other people. Like when you become internet friends with somebody, are they a friend that you can like reconnect with and it still feels natural versus like friends you might have had in-person interactions with, you
Mhm.
can't do that? Cuz I feel that way about internet friends where I feel like I could just pick right back up, and maybe it's cuz we've always had some distance. And
Mhm.
so if we fall out, we can come back together as long as it
Yeah,
wasn't disrespect.
yeah, because like one thing is like with the person who created the first form, we had a whole fallout because she
Mhm.
ended up being terrible. But like the other friends is like we drifted apart because some of them went to university, some of them got jobs. This guy got like the opportunity of a lifetime. That's
Yeah,
why.
it sounds like it.
And like this guy had already been doing like amazing, like his first telenovela like sold immediately. He was like the youngest head telenovela writer for like any network in the country. It was like a whole thing. He was famous. That's why I was like, that can't be my friend. I
Oh
am
no, I
not
was about to
cool,
say,
I am not
so
cool enough to
Fefy,
have
you're
like.
just casually dropping that you're friends with a celebrity. Okay, I see.
I was
I
like,
see your flex. I see your
I was like,
flex.
but at the same time, I'm flexing, but at the same time, I'm like, little old me, a peasant, like, like I'm not cool. I'm not cool enough to be friends with this guy. Like,
You were roasting him. You were
yeah,
roasting his
yeah.
writing
I
to
was,
his face. You are cool enough
I was
to be a
probably,
friend
I
of that
was probably,
person.
my friend was like, I was like, my friend was like, you were probably making him cry or something because you were like, you weren't like mean harsh, but you were harsh because like back in the day, I was a lot snarkier than I am now.
I
My,
agree with Thorn. Feffy is cooler than all of us. Agree.
aww,
Hard agree. Like I
I love you,
this
friend.
story, I'm like, how could I mean, I'm not trying to be like, how could I match your story? Because that's not the point of this. But um I
But
do
like,
think I was gonna say, in terms of Bethany, call like the parasocial relationship part of it. I think if you just call them friends and stop explaining how
mm,
you like, oh, they're internet friends, or oh, they're a friend, just that they're a friend. But wait, Isabel said, "Oh, how about this though? The next James Bond might be a literal acquaintance of mine. Wouldn't call him a friend, more of a friend of a friend's. It's a whole
ooh.
trip." Isabel said.
Isabel, like that's because my thing is like I was friend with a local celebrity and like the actors are still more famous than him. But for me, a writer, for me, who has been
And for something
writing
that you really love, like you really love telenovelas, you love talking about them and critiquing them,
and
and
like I love writing in general. So
yeah.
like this guy who will like go in on the subject, it was like
Oh my gosh. And then Isabel said, "Oh God, there are so many obnoxiously successful people that went to university with me and have been covering all the popular magazines for a decade. I hate it." And Thorne, meanwhile, I was just in a commercial for public transit, LMAO. I love
look,
it.
you are a celebrity to me.
Yes,
Okay?
Thorne. Okay, I just it's gonna be the momentary Thorne hype hour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
I am
reason
joining you.
I
I am
knew you
joining
were a
you.
celebrity when you came into our live chat, we highlighted your comment. I saw your profile picture and I was like, I don't know who the fuck this beautiful being is, but I need to know them. And I hope they come back to our lives after this one. And you
Every
did.
time,
And it made me so happy, even though I was like,
every time. No, but seriously, Thorn. Every time you show up in a live, people are like, you do like they do the people do the equivalent of like when someone enters the room and everyone turns around to look
Yes.
every time.
And this is Fefy's podcast, though, but Fefy agrees.
But you're my friend, and I love you, and I'm going to hype you up because I am a super duper hype woman extraordinaire.
Yes. And I feel like some of my internet or friends that I've met through the internet are also like the best hype people because they see a side of you that not everyone says. In terms of like your like, I feel like okay, I've been thinking about this because I was trying to figure out how I got into beauty, like how I got into makeup stuff, and I don't really know exactly where it started, but I do know that I was active in Facebook groups about makeup, and it all stemmed from God.
Oh, I want to highlight this.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I am
so glad
glad
I
to
broke up with
review
the
too
ugly
because
man.
you
And it
said
pushed
so
me
much
back.
better.
Yes. Break up with all the ugly men. Leave men behind. Okay.
No time for dudebros.com 2021, honestly.
Thorn BRB clearing my makeup brushes with tears.
And you say, and you have the nerve, you have the gall, you have la audacia of telling me you're not funny. Come on.
Ditch the bad hombres. Yes. Oh, even Diane Bondi had the same reaction to Thorn. She was like, I need to know who this magnificent being.
He fell in love with you immediately. Like I was like, oh, that's just a day that ends with a Y.
Yes, exactly. Like, also, yes, F those menfolk be gone. But yeah, I've been thinking about that because I was like, why did I start doing, like, I've always liked makeup, but like, what? And I still don't have the history totally clear. But the reason why I'm here today is because of the podcast called My Favorite Murder, which is now white nonsense to me because of multiple things that have
honestly,
happened.
I never listened to it because that's not my type of true crime.
Yeah.
But I was like, I am sensing a
Yeah.
disturbance
So
in
it was
the
like,
current force. Yeah.
it probably wasn't my introduction to true crime, but it was one of the things. Something on my chest is like itching me all to hell. So sorry, I keep doing that. But like, it wasn't my introduction, but it definitely got me hooked in. And they had a Facebook group, and then the Facebook group turned into, they had all these side groups and groups like based on different things. So there was like a beauty one, and so I joined that, and it just turned into like this space to just, it gave me an excuse to take photos because I wasn't always taking photos of my looks because I didn't have them to share, a place to share. And then so I was like sharing daily looks. I even did some Facebook lives on there. Like I would just do like get ready with me's on Facebook. But then it's interesting because there was some transphobic bullshit that happened on that group. And so a bunch of us were like, oh, none, and like, the mods there didn't apologize. They doubled down. And they tripled down. And so a bunch of us were like, no. And so now I see where my like leftist beauty core has come from. Because we were like, no. And so we branched off and made our own group. And then there was this whole process of like making sure people that were actually like liking or saying things in support of the transphobic comments, that those people did not end up in the group, and like some people snuck in, and then we had like, I don't know why I thought modding was easy, considering that was my first experience modding.
Oh wow, yeah. For a first experience modding, that's rough.
Yes. Yeah. Also, Faye just said, "Oh, are we talking about about white nonsense that got us into this community? Because that's like a whole podcast topic." Yes, we should do a whole podcast.
That needs to happen. Faye, hit me up.
Yes.
If you want to talk about.
But and so like we started that, And it was like, yeah, it was this whole thing of just like, okay, like, did that person like that comment? Are they still friends with the transphobic people? Are they still like supporting them? And like, just, and I was a mod over there for probably a
Mhm.
year or two, and then I had to like step away just because I was overwhelmed. But like the autumn makeup challenge that we did, I had created that for that group 2 years ago, and then we just
Oh,
reused
that's
it this
so
year.
cool.
um so it's just so interesting. And I guess at some point in time I started finding YouTube and watching more YouTube, and then that's probably why I wasn't as active in the group, because I wasn't as inspired, but I was finding inspiration in YouTube.
Mhm.
um but yeah, that was such a weird, because now I'm like, I would never get active in a Facebook group because it's a terrible
Yeah,
platform. I
I
don't like
never
the
actually
I don't like
I
any of
never got
it.
active on Facebook groups actually because I was like it this is giving me vibes from like early message boards, too many people, too much nonsense, like because after the message board in which I was like the it ended up closing because people had life
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then I started watching, and then my TV taste switched to, or I mean, I still have a soft spot for telenovelas, but the way they're being written right now are not. That's not it for me.
Yeah.
So I started watching American TV shows, and I got super into a certain medical drama that we're not going to talk about because I don't want to have an ulcer. Um,
Is it referencing black and white mixed together?
yeah, that
Yeah.
one. So first of all, I didn't speak English that well. I mean, I understood a bit. I was forcing myself to learn English by watching the show without subtitles and getting the shit by context. So
Also,
then to see spoilers, I would go to the ABC message boards.
oh my god. I don't know why that sends me so much, but I think because it's related to Isabel saying, I remember Facebook before the corporation's innocent times. We had no idea. RIP pure 2005 Facebook. I watched that show when I was a freshman in college,
Yeah,
which was more like 2004, but it made me think of that because it was just like everyone
yeah,
was watching it. So I was like, okay, I get, like, it was
yeah.
literally like every Tuesday or whatever, like everyone in the dorm was watching it, like all of, well, a lot.
Season one is the only one we speak of. The rest of
Yes.
them, I don't fucking know her.
Yeah.
Like that.
And
Don't talk.
people that are still watching,
I am like, don't talk to me and my child season one ever again. Like, please, like, that's how attached I am to that season of that show. But like on the ABC message boards, I mentioned that I was Chilean, and there was a girl who was like, "Oh, I'm from." I don't remember where this person. I think this girl was Mexican, and she was like, "Oh, there's a message board in Spanish. Like it's from Spain. You should join. It's super
yeah,
fun." Blah 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 blah. And I got into like the biggest message board for that show. That was like it was very well run, but I ended up being a mod there on the Spanish message board for
goodness.
that show. But even while being a mod, I had issues with the mods. It's like we were not all friends. It wasn't easy. Like Spider-Man meme definitely did not happen in there.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
just,
I
when you're
met
not friends
so
with the
many people
mods, or you
there.
don't see eye to eye in a lot of ways, it's
Yeah.
tough. Also, I just wanted to say I love Alex said, I remember when Facebook was all about liking random pages, like that feeling when you have a fresh baked cookie and
Oh my god,
or
yes, I
oh,
like so many of that page of those
the
pages, and then
Facebook
it beat me in the ass.
the
Yes.
Facebook when I was your age, Pluto was a planet. Like the group, like when I was your age, Pluto was a
Oh
planet.
my god, yes. I remember liking that actually.
Yes, I definitely like that because I was like, why did they take it away from Pluto? But
Yeah, but
yeah, I
like
just
So like that experience on that forum for that show that must not be
Yeah.
named was like very intense. I met a lot of I had a lot of ended up having a lot of friends,
Yeah.
like, which is like I am always um you see, I grew up because of school with like a very low self-esteem, so I am weird about being popular on the internet. Like, and I'm not even that popular on the internet. Like, I am
But
not like
I know
hugely
what you
popular on the
mean.
internet.
I
But
know
like,
what you mean. Like
but
very
like,
much relate to
every
that.
time I have accidentally ended up being like a big name fan, it has been like, these people like me. Why? so, so I ended up being a mod there, and like people like actually in that was my first experience with fanfic. People were reading my fanfic, which was terrible. Like,
I just like the self roast. Although I can't agree with that because I think you're a great writer. So I'm gonna say that.
I was like, what? Like, why? But also like that was like I kind of connected to my roots, because like I was like, what are you saying? Like, what does this mean? That's where I pick up where I picked up like most of my Castilian Spanish.
Oh, that's amazing.
So for a while there, when I wrote in Spanish, I was like, it was like, like writing in Spanglish, except I was writing in half Chilean Spanish, half Spanish from Spain. Like, it was very strange. And I still have some like sayings and like little quirks of language. I don't know how to explain it. That like go back to those days in which I was
Yeah.
hanging out with those people.
Parts of
Uh,
language make sense. Makes sense. Also, I agree with Cecily. I would venture to guess that 90% of LGG were picked on or outcast or nerds. We're an island of
mhm,
misfit toys. I just
yeah.
wanted to say, like, the whole like not understanding people liking you. So like I had my YouTube channel for a year really before LGG started, before streaming with Audra started. And I knew I like was a growing channel and people watched and people were very kind and amazing. But LGG and like this community is what made me really go like, but are you sure? Like are like doesn't make sense. Like just basing on like my experience in school and college. I'm just like I'm not
Yeah,
a popular
same,
person.
because like the times I have been like on someone else's live, for example, and like people being like happy to see me there, and I'm like,
And then Thorne put it perfectly. LGG confuses me because I'm like, why do people like me? And then y'all melt me. Yes. Yes.
this is our job. Aggressive love is our thing.
Yes. Is there a name for imposter syndrome relationship edition? That is so well put. Oh, sorry, that was Frog. Sorry, Frog. That's Astrid. Because
Yeah.
that is what that it's oh, you just kind of blew my mind, Astrid, because it's like I'm obviously friends with some amazing people, but sometimes I'm like, wait, but are they really my friend?
I'm
Really?
like, am
Like,
I allowed to call this wonderful person my friend? Like, are they going to be like upset about it? Am I being clingy? Am I being this? Am I being that? Like,
yeah, it's interesting because I think that it's okay, this is not always true, but I think that friendships that I've built through the internet, through these communities, I have more success rates of having an open relationship, an open, honest, like what are like do you like me? Because on the internet you don't have to interact with people if you don't like them. Whereas in real
yeah,
life, you're a
yeah,
student or you work or whatever, you're forced to spend time with people. And so I feel
yeah,
like the friends that I've bonded through these internet communities, again, this isn't always the case, but I feel like I have a higher like success rate of just being open and honest with each other when the relationship fizzles out, or when we don't want to spend time together, or when I do really love and appreciate you, and I want to spend all my
Mhm.
time with you.
Mhm.
Like, I
Mhm.
think that's something that I
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I felt.
It's confusing because you're not you because like you read the person telling you that they like you, calling you their friend. Oh, this goes back to like the story that I told at the beginning, like when my friend was like, "Oh, remember when you and this guy, like, you were whatever the hell you were, we were and I was like, first of all, we were friends, and then I was like, were we friends? Like, we never had the what are we conversation.
Yes. I also wanted to just throw love at Toya, because Toya just said me a lot of time about Thorn melting, or like being like to people like me.
Oh,
And Toya said the love is overwhelming. We love you, Toya. I just wanted to say you're so sweet and so important to us, as Thorn said. And then Sharon said, I'm so super appreciative of all of you this year. I have dear friends, but not being able to see them is hard. We're in text contact and a few phone calls, but you all have engaged me helpfully. Much love. Of course. Also, Kat, wait. Kat said LG, Kat being sarcasm. LGG makes me so happy. I haven't said that in years, but I do secretly stress that I'm being too blank. Kat, you're not being too
yeah.
anything. You are enough. You are never too much. Be exactly what you need to be at the time that you are there. That you are that.
Yeah, I always have the same thing as well. Like, am I being too much? Like, am I being too much? That's why I always joke about how, okay, I'm going to be in the comments for the live chat, being annoying on main, like that's why I always make that joke because I'm always like, and as someone like, I started this like, and when I explained this, I was like, as a person who has gotten told to shut up from a very young age, or like
Yeah.
or that I was annoying or whatever. So like that stays with you.
And okay, I what it makes so it, I think about this story, and I've told this. I think I've told this on a live stream on my channel, but it's an interesting example of something that could have been a toxic friendship that like started out weird, but we just like worked through it. And it makes me think of the like, am I like, do people like me? Do they want to, oh, yay, Thorn's writing
Yay.
early, can chill for the rest of the podcast. Um, Wait, no. Isabel said, because high key, I am annoying and too much to a lot of people a lot of the time. People that feel like you are too much, whoever is talking right now,
Isabel,
whoever feels that
you
way,
are a
they are
goddamn
not
delight.
worth
Like,
your time. You
you
are worth
are
you
you
deserve
are
more than that, better than
fabulous.
that.
You are fabulous. You are hilarious. You are our wordsmith of LGG.
Yes. But and Eeyore is
Also,
like so annoying. I'm like,
one day I'm going to move to the UK, and we're going to be chaotic
seriously,
roommates. And you're
I
going to
want
cook for me, and I'm going to be weird.
I want to spend time with, like, there's so many people at LGG where I'm like, I actively want to spend time with these people.
Ooh,
And
one
that is saying
second,
a lot because
everyone.
I'm
One
introverted.
second, everyone. I have a phone call.
Oh,
It's mommy.
oh, Thor. I'm gonna do a love train after my live tonight. But yes, I think that there is a lot of people get told they're too much, they're too this, they're too that, they're too needy, they're too and it gets me so angry because like a lot of it is being said for people that are struggling with disabilities, mental health issues, or any of the different things. And it's like you're never too much, you're
Okay,
never too needy.
okay, Emily. I'm going to leave you for a bit to like read the comments and stuff because mommy got a delivery and I need to go pick it up because she didn't tell me and the person's downstairs.
Do your thing. You got I'm all good here. And
Pray
so
for my
yes.
lipstick because I'm going to have to put on a mask, but
Oh no. Um,
and I
but yeah,
need money to pay for the
no one
food.
is ever too much or not enough. And again, if people say that to you, they are not worthy of your time and your respect and your energy. Alex said, I can definitely relate to feeling like my worth as a person is tied to how other people feel about me. It's really hard when people treat you poorly to not then think that it's something wrong with you. But this community is a great example of people showing you love while also holding you to a higher standard of accountability. Alex, you just said it perfectly. Because, yeah, because we do hold people to a certain standard, to a certain like level of where we demand a certain level of respect to people and all of this, but we also accommodate and do like, yeah, it's work, but I love doing it, and I love all of everyone that's really in the community. um all of the tears and Spider-Man memeing in the chat. Yeah, and Bethany said, or being told by people that you have nothing to offer. You believe it, and it weighs on me during lives and interactions. You, I hate that. I hate, as Toya said, how we all have like things done to us that are so similar or have created just these insecurities that are absolutely lies. They're lies. They're lies that were built and they've become like members of your brain, become home, made home in your brain, and it's fucking lies. Bethany, you are not too much, and you also have so much to offer. And I just want to directly say that to you because I refuse to let you continue to feel that way. As much as I could do to make it stop, I want to make it stop. Um, Isabel said, I have such a lot of admiration for you who actually put your faces and voices out there for the people to appraise. I'm always so happy to hear the work and the stress is worth it. But also, like having a space, having a community where people can share and like you all, every person adds so much to it. And so I know a lot of people are like, oh, I would never have the guts to put my face on the internet or do video or do podcasts. But when you show up to this community regularly and support and be vulnerable and share parts of yourself, that's also doing a lot. That's also putting a lot of trust out into people that you know but you don't know. And so I just want to say, like, even for anyone that's watching that feels like, oh, like I feel less valid because I'm not a creator, you that is absolutely also not true. That is a lie. And everyone that's here should be here, and we all want you here. Oh, Kat, thank you. I truly love you all. The community gives me genuine hope. I cannot put enough emphasis enough on how seen and heard you all have made me feel. I know this is going to be a good sob session. Eeyore, I would not be putting my face out there if it weren't for LGG support. Please know that. Yes. Yes, like Isabel, the things you bring to a conversation, a live chat in the Discord, like they are so important and like hilarious and intelligent and thoughtful. And Cecily is right. What amazes me is the fact that I cannot think of one person in LGG that is not extremely intelligent, kind hearted, thoughtful, creative, funny, and just spectacular. I'm trying not to happy sob because I'm too tired for that. I can do it, but it takes a lot of energy. Oh. Right, Thorn. I think of all of you offline.
Sorry
It's
about that.
literally just like Spider-Man meme sob session. Like Thorn, LG is a freaking amazing community. I think of you all when I'm offline. One of the most impressive collectives of individuals I've ever encountered. I agree, Cecily. But
Oh,
yeah, we're just. Are you okay? Take a breath. No.
yeah. I had to run. Mommy had a big baked goods delivery. So I had to
That's
do.
fun.
And
I'm
now
happy
she's
to
calling again. Now
enjoy
she's
it.
calling again. Now
Oh,
she's calling again. Aló, todo listo. De nada. Chao.
I know Fefy's highlight's amazing. Oh, Alex, it's actually a good. So Alex said it's sad when people aren't able to stick around in the community for one reason or another, but we can only hope they are cultivated enough of a positive community that they
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable to put
Yeah.
they can. The thing is that too is that online communities aren't always built for staying in forever. So even for people that have left for one reason or another, like whether they feel overwhelmed by the Discord or they don't feel as connected or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, you know what? That's okay because
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they got something out of it, and I can't control like their if they I don't want people. Here's the thing. If you don't want to be in this space, I don't want you in this space. So
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like it's your time to move on for whatever reason, I'm
Yeah,
not
like forcing people to like, and I recently had a friendship breakup. So I am very like forcing people to stay your friend, like it's unfair.
yeah.
And what I wanted to touch on as well, and I don't know if you have been talking about, but like when people are like, well, this is overwhelming because I don't know how to make friends. Like I don't know. My approach to making friends online has always been like, I'm not in person. They're not going to see all the awkward parts of me. I can like just talk to people.
That's a really good point. I had so the I hadn't thought about that a lot. I think because maybe it's because I've just been like online so much and it's how I've bonded with people so much. I think that it can be overwhelming, but I also think that online comes with so many advantages
Yeah.
because you can step back and take a scope of the community. You
Mhm.
can see what people are saying. You can take time to
Yeah.
listen. Okay,
Also,
as an oh, go ahead.
if someone is saying or doing something you don't click with, you can like go back and like look at the evidence and be like, oh yeah, I am not making shit up. This person is actually
Yes.
making me uncomfortable. So I starting with this information, or like coming off of this information that I have, I can like end this friendship or move on from this group, or like, which
Yeah.
is what happened to me on that one telenovela forum. Like,
Well, and I think
thing.
about as an introvert, a lot of times in physical spaces, if I'm coming into a
Mhm.
party or a just a gathering or a dinner or something where I don't know a lot of people, a lot of times I have like stimulation overload, especially I guess more of like a chatty party situation where
Mhm.
I don't even know where to start. Like I don't know who to introduce myself to or how to join a conversation without literally just being like an awkward person. And a lot of times it just feels really uncomfortable and I don't want to do that
Mhm.
because I just don't think that I it's like I don't have the wherewithal for that. But
Yeah.
with an online space, I can take time if I
Yeah.
want to and lurk and look and see. And like sometimes that's when like I might see somebody like Fefy and be like, she's really funny. That person's really funny. Or wow, they said something really insightful. And like if it's a live chat situation referencing the half cousins, I'm back
Mhm.
next week and then the same person says something else that's also really insightful or thoughtful or funny. And like over time I can like kind of take stock of
Yeah.
people and I don't know them, but I've gotten to know them without actually having to jump into a conversation with them. And you can
Yeah.
like go at whatever speed you want to go at. Because some people will just instantly come into the live chats and interact with everybody, and that's
Mhm.
amazing. And other people are
Mhm.
gonna like lurk, and then maybe they will like reply, and they'll be like, "Oh, at Feffy, that was so funny," or like, "Oh, I agree," at so and so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like,
I just like
And
that you
that's
can
the other
take it at
thing
your own
about
pace.
social interaction, like in person, if you're an introvert, and online, is like social interaction in person. You have to do like the whole thing all at once.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a party, you have to be at the party between this hour, and you have to be present and you have to be on. You know, like
Yes.
you have to put on you have to put on a face, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Online, you can actually pace yourself and take your time,
Yeah.
and you can do the interaction in intervals, because like you can be like someone, you met someone at a forum, and or a Discord or whatever, like, which is very similar to forums, by the way, like that's
Yes.
why I said um
It's just a
it's
fancy
a
new
lot
way
of
to call
flashbacks.
message boards.
So like, you can talk to someone on DMs that you clicked with, and that person is not going to reply immediately, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah. And LGG is how Thorn learned that people think that Thorn is funny.
You are,
You are.
you know the thing. It is a day that ends with a Y, and I'm right.
There is a dry sense of humor to
Yeah,
Thorn
yeah, yeah,
that you say something and I'm
yeah,
like, wow,
yeah,
that sliced me right into the core, but in like
yeah.
a funny way. Like
Absolutely.
just a cut that makes me go,
That's exactly
who
it.
the fuck
Like,
are you
thank you,
being this
Emily, for
funny?
putting it into words, because I have been trying to explain it. I've been trying to explain it,
Yeah,
and like,
exactly. The deadpan is so good.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I am here. That's my, like, my favorite kind of humor. Like when the person is like deadpan. Yeah, I love it so much.
yes. Also, yes, Isabel, I feel like I've seen you for so long in Half Cousins. Because I was like, another lemon tree. And it took me a really long time to realize that that was that, like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Um, I just think it is interesting. You're like the pacing thing, because I do think that like people will can come into a new internet space and be like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, and I know I'm biased because I love our community, but I think
Mhm.
also because I've been doing this for so long that I always want to be like, just like take it at whatever pace you want, like take a step
Yeah.
back, like
Also, when people
uh,
are like, I am not going to fit in. All these people are already friends, but like, I have joined many communities in which
yes,
I wasn't already a friend of the people, and like I joined, and I started talking to people, and people were like, oh yeah, like I like what you have to say, and then we ended up hanging out and becoming friends. Like, you just gotta do the thing.
yeah. And if
Like,
you do come into an online space that is not welcoming, then that
yeah,
space is not for you. And I'm sorry
yeah,
you have to
hmm,
experience that.
hmm,
But
yeah,
so many spaces, like, if you just like, if you, especially I feel like if you say you're new, if you say you've just discovered this thing, like, there's, I feel like there's always like at least one member that's like, hey, new person, like, let
yeah,
me know if you need help. Like, they don't even have to be a mod. They're just
yeah,
generally like kind and supportive. Like, I know one of the things, like, so the my college had this unofficial message board for the university, and I've said it before, it's kind of like it was Reddit before Reddit was a thing. It was, they would reference sometimes like 4chan and terrible places on the internet,
hmm,
and the only like, if you were a freshman and you found, it's literally, it was called the Wolf Web, we were the Wolf Pack, my college was, if you were
hmm,
a freshman, you were like, OMG, I found that Wolf Web. What is this? And like just posted it. Like, they would demolish you. Like, they would like find who you were and like post your photos, or like, but like, I was a smart person on the internet. And so I would see it happen and just be like, I'm gonna lurk and randomly comment where it's appropriate. And
yeah,
I made such good friends with so many people in that space because I understood the humor. Obviously, there was assholes that took it too far, but I also
yeah,
understood the humor, and I
hmm,
was just like, this is fun. And like I gained some of my closest friends from college through
Mhm.
that space because I could interact with them first, and then we could decide, do you want to hang out? Do we want to go to a party together? Like, oh, we randomly have class in the same building. Let's meet up and at least like say hi to each other. So I don't know. It's just interesting to
Yeah,
like,
it's very like it's very also the thing about like internet friends versus real life friends. Like they're all friends. They're all
they're
friends.
all friends.
But like the way I don't know if there's like difference in the way that other people who are not extremely online talk about this. Like,
I think there is because, in my opinion, I think people that are not extremely online
mhm,
don't think internet friendships are real. And I've been
mm,
trying really hard to not call them internet friendships because I
mhm.
think that invalidates it to certain people.
Yeah.
Most people are usually assholes, but still, to certain people,
Mhm.
it's invalidated because you didn't meet naturally, whatever the fuck that means, or you didn't meet in person. First of
Yeah.
all, it's a, well, I'm not going to call it that word. It's a parallelogram. If you don't know, Audra's introduced me to calling it anything else, any other P word.
It's
We're
a
in the middle of a parabola. We're in the middle of a pansexual. We're in the middle of a parallelogram. Like we're in the middle of a pot pie. I don't know. We're not. We're not. Just
ma'am,
middle
this
of.
is a polygon.
um, so like meeting in person is not even an option right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But people so quickly invalidate that. And I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
a generational thing, because I think that's part of it. But it's frustrating because I'm like, no, you can have real, vulnerable, honest connections with people through text. Like,
Yeah. That's why I was like the other day when I was talking to my friend about that story that I was telling, it was like, but were we really friends? And then it was like, how many times did you talk on DMs? And I was like, too freaking many to count. And we were talking about like serious shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. Also, Cecily, I did not go to school in Connecticut. I went to school in North Carolina, but I just wanted to make sure. Yeah,
mhm,
and Isabella says it like Isabel said. I mean, I spend a few hours with my in real life bestie every fortnight, and mostly
mhm,
don't chat in between. Whereas I spend
mhm.
multiple hours, spend hours with LGG most days. Agreed. Like
Yeah,
my
yeah, like
I have like
you're.
two really good friends here in Brooklyn. I've
Mhm.
seen them 3 times since March. Three
Oh,
times.
I haven't seen. I talk pretty frequently on the internet with my friends from the archive
Yeah.
and like my best friend and everything. But I haven't seen my best friend since probably Christmas Eve, 2019. So
Yeah, so like I connect way more with people through not just LGG, but we're talking about them right now, but like
mhm.
through internet communities more than I connect with people that I still love with my whole heart and I
Yeah,
do a lot
yeah.
for. We don't talk as often as I do with some of my friends that I've met through the internet.
Yeah, and I find it kind of unfair to like, oh no, this is this type of friendship and this is like, I mean, I know there are like different types of friendships, like, oh, this person is an acquaintance, this other person is a friend, but like if when you're friends with someone, like be like, oh no, this friendship is like more because it's I met the person in person.
Yeah, I don't like classifying in that way because it does feel like, I don't know. It just feels like they're supposedly less important to you. And the reality is that like actually this one of the things that I noticed, that brings me a lot of joy, and it it kind of validates even though I'm like, you don't have to validate internet friendships, but like my friend Sarah posted the same, so Audra is like the queen of posting to TikToks to Instagram stories, and like has such a great taste, finds all the good ones. There's this one dancer that she posts often. my friend Sarah doesn't post TikToks that often to her Instagram stories, if
Mhm.
rarely, if ever. And like she randomly posted that same dancer, like a different clip, different TikTok, but the same dancer. And I
Mhm.
was like, y'all have the same likes. You're both my really good friends and you have similar likes. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
validated it.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, no, no,
Also,
no. I'm attracted to the similarly weird motherfuckers. Like,
also,
oh,
Toya,
oh yeah, with some tea, you can date online but not build platonic friendships. Thank you. Thank you. I had not even thought about it that way. Wow.
yeah, yeah, because like crappy friend dated people online. And then she was giving me crap because of cute but oblivious person, because cute but oblivious person is an internet friend, but we've been friends for 8 years.
Yeah.
So like
That's a friendship. That's
yeah,
a friendship. Like
that's like staying up until like however late at night, like talking about like our life, like
yeah. 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 And Sharon is like Sharon, the way you welcome people into all of the live chats and like thank for super chats, all this is just amazing. Yes, everyone melting everyone's hearts. Oh yeah,
I
and
love you though.
Bumble did have a, or maybe still does have a platonic relationship option too,
Oh
but
my god, yeah. Audra, we
Queen,
bow down to
yes,
Audra, the queen of. She should.
she's about
There's
to blow
be
up
like
on TikTok
if
as well, y'all.
there's like a museum of like social media, Audra should get the title of TikTok curator. She is an expert TikTok curator. Like all the stuff that she shares, like high quality stuff. We love it.
Isabel said it also makes so much more sense that we should find our people online, which is such a big
Yeah.
place, rather than in real lives, which take place
Yeah.
in narrow corridors of place and time. I so agree with that because
Yeah.
think about how I think
Also,
if I had realized how interconnected the internet really was, I might not have ever moved
mhm,
to New York City. Not that I wouldn't
mhm,
have moved out of like my hometown and my home state,
mhm.
but I felt like I needed to be in a space that wasn't homophobic,
Yeah. I
phobic,
have to say, like, I
just
get when I like, when I talk about people being like problematic or racist or whatever, I'm like, and I say, well, I mean, some of these people are because they don't want to do the work or they're just like a trash person. But other people, I'm like, your world is very small and you don't want to open it up. For me, and for a lot of people, that used to be trouble. For me,
yeah.
I am in part of the world, South America. I'm broke. I can't travel. But the internet was what opened that world up for me. I
Amazing.
I have met so many people with so many different experiences that have taught me so much.
Yeah.
Also, making friends on the internet, like that's why I'm leaving Isabel
Yeah.
comment for a while, because like sometimes it's the place in which you can find people who are like you.
Exactly. Or are complementary to you
Yeah,
where you grow and become a better version of yourself. And
yeah,
it's just like I love how Isabel also said the geography of the internet is such a fascinating topic. And
yeah. Because like
people
I am because
underestimate
like
what's on.
we are here, both of us, in different sides of the continent,
Yes.
and we are friends. And then like, and it's like, and sometimes, and it would be super funny because sometimes you would say something on a live, and I would be like, Emily, same for me. Like, are we the same person? Are we related? Like,
My goal, because I know you don't, like you're in a space where you can't travel much and all that.
mhm.
I want you to travel and I would love to travel with you. Like I want to like this is the kind of like I think we were talking about I forgot where we were talking about this. maybe it was a stream, maybe it's Thorn, one of Thorn's streams recently, how Thorn was like, I want to be able to buy houses for friends. The
Yeah.
first thing I ever thought about as like a adult, or maybe not even an adult, was about like gaining wealth in some capacity, not even being not wealth, but having money. Was like, I want to be able to be like, I want to go on a trip. Hey
Hmm.
friend, here's your plane ticket, we're covered, come with me. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to go, obviously if you
You
don't
know,
want to
like
go, like
I
that's
definitely,
the kind
if
of like
I'm going to
gifting I
if
want
I'm
to
going to travel eventually when the Ronies are over,
do. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need a travel buddy because I need a cane, and the cane is a person.
And you were already volunteered. I told Fefy I volunteer as Kane and Eyes. We will travel the world together. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and say, I want to see Feffy travel the world and see all the archives of the world. Exactly. Like, and I know travel is a very, like, you have to be like, it's not a feasible thing for everyone.
Hmm.
But it has brought me a lot of joy. And so
Yeah,
yeah, without the internet, without the community over this last year, I would be like, I don't know how I would have handled it. So yeah.
yeah. Like it's very interesting for me, like the whole thing about like I am friends with a whole bunch of people in a whole bunch of countries, and also when shit was going down in my country, they
Mm-hmm.
were my rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, like y'all, like first, like the people I met in Half Cousins, and
Mm-hmm.
then LGG were like my rock because of like the protests and stuff, and I was like in a really bad place.
Yeah.
It was pretty terrible, and people would listen to me, they would ask me if I was okay, we would talk about other things, and you will you will distract me. Like it was very it was a very nice experience, and like it makes me happy to realize like I found a whole bunch of really great people during a difficult time.
Yeah. And that's like the amazing thing. And I love how Kat said, over the years, as I've bounced from one internet community to another, as I've met more people from different places, the further away from IRL friends I became. I
Yeah.
do agree that well,
Hmm.
okay, internet friendships or friendships that I have created through internet communities has helped me let go of friendships, like friendships with people that I've met in person that weren't actually good for me or weren't healthy for me or weren't supportive. So I think that's part of it. It's given, okay, that's an important thing. The communities I've been a part of through the internet have given me the strength and the confidence to let go of toxic relationships in my life because
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm not alone. And even when I feel my most alone, I know I have people I could reach out to, like, through these communities. And
Hmm.
obviously I do have a couple of
Yeah,
close
like
friends that I can also reach out to.
y'all listening to me about crappy friend.
Mm-hmm.
What gave me the courage to like
To do the
break
friend
up with
breakup.
her?
Yes.
Like you'll be
So I
like,
was like, you
you
are
can do
worth more than
this.
that,
We're going
Feffy.
to be there for you. Like it's okay. This girl is actually being weird. Like you're not just seeing things. Like
Yes. And being able to learn to it's a reminder of like, oh no, I can trust how I feel
yeah,
because I have relayed this story in the best way that I could with the most honesty that I could. And multiple people are telling me that this person is not treating me with the respect
hmm,
that I
yeah,
deserve.
yeah.
So
Or
yeah,
like
it's
other
time
people, or other people being like, this exact same thing happened
that
to
too.
me
Yeah.
happened to me with this person. It has like basically like the same undertones of like crappiness, and like you're right, like listen to your gut basically.
Yeah. And if you can't listen to your gut, if you don't have that if that's not a strength, you can listen to other people's gut.
Yeah.
Other people say, Oh, but they seem sus. Like if Feffy, if you tell me somebody seems sus, if Audra tells me somebody seems sus, I listen. I
Yeah, I
find
am like,
someone to
yeah,
listen to y'all because I've come a long way with trusting myself, but I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. And
yeah.
so
I have a lot of people in LDG who are like, oh, this person's sus. And I'm like, okay, so they are sus then, because like this person would never like the other day I was talking about Toya because she's so nice. Like she's such a kind, wonderful person. So she's not going to like just go out and talk shit for talking shit, you know?
yeah,
Like I'm
exactly.
like, if this super sweet, kind person who I have proven to be like an excellent judge of character is telling me, oh, you know what? So and so is giving me vibes. I'm like, okay, I'm listening because she's right. Like she's also right on days that end with a Y.
I think about the meme that like stemmed from Ina Garden that's like if you don't have serotonin store bought is fine. Where
Yeah,
now I want to say
honestly.
like if you don't have intuition or if you can't trust your gut, your friend's gut is fine. Like
Yeah.
just like if you trust the
Also,
person,
Mo. Yeah,
yeah.
Mo. Like, of course, the person who's able to see the plot twist is the one who's able to see that someone says.
Also, yes,
Yeah,
Toya says something
if
that says
Toya says
right
someone
at
says we're out of dawn. Exactly.
oh, this, Isabel, also why I get riled up when people lean on the bad to spend our lives online cliche. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've been spending my life online since 2003, at least.
yeah.
We're not gonna cheat
Here's
on
the thing when people talk about, oh, online is so terrible. Online taught me a whole language that I didn't speak before.
That's amazing.
Like I learned English on the internet. Online made me realize that like I can do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, and also it has like encouraged me to push my boundaries in many ways. Like I
Yes.
would have been like if I had been like little old me just meeting people the real way, whatever that is. Would I have a podcast now? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Would I have written that so many terrible fanfic? Like it's it's the source material. Honestly, I'm going to especially the Outlander fanfic. Like the
I need
source
to read a
material.
Feffy fanfic,
The
just so you know.
source material isn't
It's
good.
not an option. It's a must. One of these days I'm going
It's
to be
just
like,
not. None of my fanfics are finished because I am a monster.
that is very relatable. Project
All of them are works in progress, and every time I reread them, I'm like, okay, so I need to dismantle this whole thing and write it again because I hate it.
oh, I love this. Thor said Mo, Feffy, Toya, and Eeyore, the High Council.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
amazing.
I need Drew to do some artwork based on that.
That would be cool as
When
heck.
I have some spare money, that'll be something I can throw at.
Yeah,
And yes, you are not a monster. Wait, who's sorry? Oh, yay! Sorry.
look, I am just telling it like it is.
I like Astrid's like, who finishes writing things really?
You
Exactly.
know, I am going to, and here's the thing: I feel kind of guilty because I want to finish one because it's like me in 2004 talking about how this guy was writing contrived shit, while I am writing one in which the main character is a spy, but like she's kind of a spy, but not. She was supposed to be dead, but is actually alive and is trying to get revenge and a whole bunch like
I want to read
drama.
it. Okay, just having a
But
tantrum.
but like and like trying to connect it to the actual source material, which has been a pain in the ass. Like I have been writing this
just
fanfic that is
it's your own
extremely
story, though. It's your
that
own
is
story.
that is
Just remind people.
extremely a whole mess, and I haven't updated it in like. Do I even want to say how long has it been? Has it been since I updated? Do I want to expose myself? Probably over a year. Probably over a year.
That's fine.
And I want to,
It
and
happens.
I want to come back with it like power move, like, hey, remember me?
Just like drop mic moment and just
most of the people who were reading that fanfic are not even in the fandom anymore, because the hiatus for that show has always been long, plus the parable, like, you know, like,
I am still thinking you could just turn this into your own piece of writing and not call it a fanfic. I'm just gonna say.
yeah, like
Spin it off like it's
like
not
here's the thing, like that show is problematic as hell. The books are problematic as hell. I want to fight the author if I ever see her on the street, allegedly. Like
supposedly.
honestly, I'm like, turn on your location. I just want to talk. uh, but she did do one thing right. She created my book wife, the love of my life. I will ride or die for her. Yeah. So like that's why I want to give her a good story in which she's not being disrespected like she is disrespected by the person who created her. Like,
That is amazing. You're
so
just
like
like
I want to
disrespectful.
come back eventually, but like now I'm trying to write something else, and it's proving kind of difficult because my muse is on vacation somewhere.
Muse has been gone all 2020.
She can
True.
she can actually she doesn't get sick, so she can actually travel.
She's just been like, I'm off. I'm gonna go see the world while nobody else can.
She's probably chilling, like
Muse is a bad bitch.
she's probably like chilling somewhere, like remote, like living a hermit life, like
As Eeyore said, the Muse said, "Fuck this."
yeah. The muse told me bye, like you're too slow. You're too slow a
No,
writer.
you are not too slow, Fefy. You are not too slow. You just savor it. That's all.
And like I always feel here's the thing, like comparison is terrible. Like
Yes.
my friends are my friends are so incredibly prolific as writers. Like they say they're going to have a chapter a week, and they have a chapter a week. And they have like 5 chapters written in advance, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like,
well, and that's the thing, is that we all work at different speeds and different capabilities. So
yeah, and that's why I say always, like, I get the thing done. It just takes me longer.
I think about that a lot, because like, so like for me with the other work I have, and like things like my depression and shit like that, like I, outside of this month, which is a little different, I feel like my YouTube is inconsistent and not as often as I want. And then I see somebody like Audra who just like bangs the videos out, and I'm like, I need to get my jealousy monster in check, because there is no reason to be jealous right now, bitch, because you have shit that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And like she does too, but it's different. But it's just interesting when you have friends and you're just like, I love and respect you, but damn it, why?
Yeah.
Why
I'm like,
that prolific?
I'm like, I love you, but why?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the comparison.
I have dealt with the fact that I am friends with a whole bunch of incredibly fabulous people.
Audra, listen, I film with Chaos and a Prayer. You are talented. You are a talented motherfucker that is skilled at filming and skilled at editing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Audra is like the talent, the skill, the range. She has it all. She has it all.
Yeah. I love you, but slow down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also,
Exactly.
why am I inadequate? Big mood. Exactly.
Yeah. Your chaos is your charm, Audra.
Yes. No, it's very impressive. But it's also like, yeah, it's interesting with like it. I think sometimes with also with an online, like with online communities, all of a sudden your friend group is could be much larger, and then you
Yeah.
have more people that you compare yourself to, and that
Yeah.
can be hard. That can be hard. But I also know that like people that I'm friends with online are truly, honestly loving human beings, and so
Yeah.
I feel less
Yeah.
of
Like,
that like
yeah, like
bitterness.
I
Like,
have met so many wonderful people like these couple of years only. And
yes.
here's the other thing that I have that I was talking that I was thinking about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that as much as I was cool because of the thing, 2004 Fefy would have had like the emotional maturity
Mm-hmm.
to have a friend or like an online community or a friend group like LDG. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I think I made all the mistakes that I made in my internet life to make it to this moment, because this is like the safest, least
Yes.
like, I mean, sometimes there's a bit of stress, but like the least
Yeah,
stressful internet community I have been in.
there's
And like,
stress, but it's
and it's
stress
like
keeping
a
the
and
community
yeah,
safe.
and it's a situation in which I like, and like so many people like have so many similar experiences to me, and when I say something, I I think it's silly, and other people are like, no, but same, like this happened to me as well. And like, I used to be that person who would start like every like internet or like even real life statements so much sometimes with no one cares but, and then started telling the story. And I'm like, wow, these people actually care.
Aggressive love fest is saying we care. Stop saying no one cares. Faye said the way I look at my friends at grad school is how y'all are. They're so fucking smart. I love them though, and they always help me.
Yeah,
But
my
yeah,
friends from the archive are like that.
and I feel the same thing about
Character development, yeah.
like both in starting my YouTube and having this kind of community. Um, you are an amazing human, Eeyore, but thank you. And
Yeah.
yes,
Like,
internet friendships are amazing and also so much less stress from Audra. But I feel
yeah.
like if I was doing this 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, like I was a more toxic person back then. And maybe not
Yeah.
toxic, but like
Honestly, like,
I was not, you're right. It was emotional maturity was not where it is now. And so I am grateful
yeah. Yeah,
that it
like,
culminated to this. Like obviously this is not the peak, it's not the end, but like it's
mhm,
all kind of developed to this. And I'm so
yeah.
grateful that it's now rather than even 2 years ago or 5 years or 10 years ago.
Yeah, like I have changed so much, and this is also thanks to a lot of wonderful
Yes.
people, and thanks to like opening up my world to other voices that aren't exactly like mine as well.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly. I feel that, Toya. I wouldn't have been ready for this years ago.
yeah, yeah, me neither.
It's really
Like,
nice because I think about it a lot where I'm like, oh yeah, like it took me to getting to my mid 30s to like feel like I have like these healthy friendships. But then I remind myself, like, because sometimes I say it in like a way to like beat myself up, but I'm like, no, I was working on it. I've
yeah,
been working on it for
yeah.
decades. So
Yeah,
I'm
also
happy
like
that I'm here
in my
now.
case, like I had a lot of like childhood trauma related to like peers being absolutely awful to me. So
Yes, same. Also, I want to congratulate Isabel. Isabel said, congratulate me, please. I've been changing my sheets for the past 4 hours and I finally finished. Congratulations. You are
yes, you
amazing
did
and
the
you did
thing,
the
Isabel.
thing.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that as well. Eventually, at some point tonight,
Yes.
before I go to
Yes.
bed, it needs to happen. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
I feel like that's the other thing that's really nice with finding online communities and gaining friends through that is that
Mhm.
you can really like face some of the traumas or the issues that you've had growing up with friendships and like
Yeah, And
Sometimes
also
you could
you
just
could,
put it all out
and also
there.
you can be like, and also you can be like, this happened to me, and I was like, in things that you're like, oh, is this weird that I think like that about this? And other people are like, no, it's not weird. It happened to me too. It happened to someone I know and love as well.
Yeah.
So like the validation is wonderful.
Yes.
Also, like we were talking previous to the podcast, when we were in conversations about this, Emily told me like, I want to talk on the podcast about the subject had been picked for a while, but Emily reached out to me again and was like, should we do this topic? Like, I want to talk to you about something you're activated about. Because
Yes.
the thing I said, like, I like to talk about things that activate me. And I was like, funny you should say that, because I am extremely activated about internet friendship. Because every day I wake up and I'm like, these people are so wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I got so freaking lucky to meet, like, there are so many people that I can tell like I am a better person because I know you, basically.
Also, I am a better person for knowing you. So you feel lucky that you have
Yeah.
your friends, but I also feel lucky to have you as a friend. And yes, we have hit 2 hours. And I
Yeah.
wanted to say one thing that I've noticed that I'm so thankful for with like friends that I've connected with through the
Mm-hmm.
internet is I can be more open about like this is something I struggle with. If you catch me doing this to you, please like just say something. Okay, I think about this yesterday on the live stream that Audra did a live stream with Alex, sincerely Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And in the live stream, she was talking about because they were talking about Taurus things. She said, I haven't said this to Emily, but I have been struggling with like not always having to be the last, the saying the like the ending the conversation, like on Marco Polo. I
Oh,
love
that's a thing.
though
That's a thing.
to have friends that I can be like, hey, I struggle with this. So like if you see like I say, like I struggle with jealousy. If I'm treating you in a way where you're like, what is going on? Please just
Yeah.
like just say something because I don't want resentment to build. I don't want people to feel disrespected either.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just need a reminder of like,
Yeah.
hey, your ass
I
is showing.
try to do the thing in which like I explain why I what I do. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
so like sometimes I do this and it's for this reason. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I try to do that as well, because I don't want to like hit someone with like, surprise, I'm being weird. Um,
It's like, surprise, here's my weird trauma related
hello,
bullshit.
this is my trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, a lot of my conversations with people are like, "Hello,
hello,
this is
this
my
is my
trauma,"
trauma.
but at this I try to make it. At this I try to make it funny. Like,
Yes. Um, this has been such a good
yeah,
conversation. Like,
this has been amazing, and I like the time flew by. I am
right?
very.
This was so lovely.
Thorn,
Oh,
are you going to go live like now,
I was gonna say, I was
or
like, do you want to be raided? Do we want to raid Thorn?
because I need to know if I should raid, because if I
Oh,
have to raid, I need to.
okay, Eeyore, I almost said this. Eeyore said, hello, this is my trauma. I need merch. I almost said that when you said that. I was like, that should be merch.
Yeah.
Just saying, Fefy, if you wanted to like make some merch money, you know. And Isabel, I agree. I appreciate the explaining, and I also do the explaining partly because I find it fascinating, but also it's helpful. Understanding is helpful. I agree. Like when I'm like, I have had people in my life that have done this to me, or I've dealt with this repeatedly. And so it's made me do this thing that I'm trying to not do.
Mhm.
Like, I like
Mhm.
knowing that about my friends too. I think for me, it helps me connect the dots because I'm like, it makes it more important to me. It makes it more
Oh,
like
okay.
Oh yeah, it holds like some, it like adds the value. It takes it from just like a little something to a bigger thing, because I understand, or I will like learn to understand where it comes from. So yeah.
Okay, so I am, let, you know what? I am going to be smarter about this and I'm going to mute myself so y'all don't have to hear the noise because I need to go on Twitch to do this.
Oh, the typing. Okay. um, yeah, it's definitely a fine line between excusing and explaining. That's the thing I'm working on. Yeah, I don't think it's, I mean, yes, it can be, you can be excusing it, but for me, I think with my friends, it's really nice to know, because I'm like, okay, I see where it's coming from, and but I also know that I can call you on your shit.
Yeah, that's very important. I needed to open Twitch, and I knew I was going to be loud in the video replay
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah, because it plays.
you
Okay.
know, because you'll know I'm loud. The other day Mo cracked me up so much when she was like, instead of saying that we were going to be live, she said that we were going to be loud, and I was like, well, that's true.
Also, Thorn is having sound problems.
It's okay. I have it on so I can do the
Whenever you're
thing
ready, we'll
effectively. Let us know.
instead of we're gonna be loud alive, we're gonna be
Yeah.
loud.
He was like 50 and I will be loud, and I was like, well, that too, honestly, because I know I am loud, but like,
But you're a delight. There's
but
nothing wrong with
y'all seem to like the way I talk, so
it.
we love
Yes.
to see it. Uh,
I also, this reminds me of like yet another reason with like like internet communities. Like if somebody were to come into the space and be like, "Wow, I don't like this person's accent," like how easy it is just to be like, "You are
yeah,
being an asshole.
yeah.
You, sir, do not like. You need to change. Either apologize or get out."
Or like when people are like, or like when because people have been like, oh, I don't understand you, but like not in a because I get sometimes that people might not understand me because I talk too fast because I'm Chilean. That's just who we are. But like other people are like, oh no, I don't understand you because like your English is not super perfect, whatever. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. No, it's just like, sorry, but you're being an asshole.
Yeah, that is very xenophobic. I don't like it. Like
Yeah.
in my case it is xenophobic because I am a white, but if it was a person who isn't a white, it would be racist as well.
Yes. If they don't understand you, maybe their English is not so perfect. And Eeyore said, your English once again is better than some of my redneck families. Exactly. I just realized, okay, this is something that, and I think these communities have helped me realize is like ableism and how ingrained it is, and like how people will criticize the way you talk or your accent or even misspelling things,
Yeah.
like I don't mind if people correct me, like if
Oh,
I misspell something.
that thing that Mia tweeted the other day about like your argument is not less valid just because you had one spelling mistake or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Which is
there was
something that a lot of people like. Look, when I was younger and and I was honestly kind of a piece of shit, I would have done that. And I had a
say,
friend, and they like came out and said it at first. They were like I actually didn't want to talk to you because I didn't like your grammar. And then I checked myself and I realized that I was being a pretentious asshole,
yeah,
and that you're actually like a super fun person to be around. Like if I had stayed being like super pretentious, I would have missed on a great friendship. And I appreciate them for that so much to this day. Like because like overall they're in at first I was like, oh shit, I feel kind of inadequate now, but they like genuinely apologized in a way that I was like, okay, they actually mean it, and actually they actually made changes to their behavior. It
Yeah,
wasn't like I'm sorry, but like forgive me because you need to forgive me. No, it was very. This person really thought out what they were going to
like the
what
situation.
they were going to say to me, and like, but yeah, like that has happened to me before. Like, oh, I don't understand. Like your grammar is kind of weird, or like the reference that you make are weird because sometimes I am writing it out, or like the other day it happened to me. Like I was talking to you. I was talking to you on voice chat when we were doing Among Us or something, and I said something, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. This sounded weird. I was thinking in Spanish and talking in English."
Oh, Thorn is ready. I love what I
Okay,
love, I'm speaking in Spanish for typing in English, but that's a skill too. You know two languages. Like
yeah.
no criticism.
So Thorn's ready, and I am excited to watch their stream because, as always, they're freaking delightful. And like every time there's a Thorn stream, my skin is clear, my crops are growing, my family is thriving. Like
Dude, I'm like a new person basically. So we're gonna rate.
this is like a couple of minutes of me continuing to hype Thorn up. um,
All
like
the hype. All the
yeah,
hype.
yeah. And I know it, and like if you get a little blushy about it, I know that it's cold over there. You can find a blanket. You can find a blanket. So um, so like now we are going to go to their stream
Yes.
to watch them because like I am pumped.
I'm so excited.
So I wanted to thank everyone for coming here. I
Yeah.
wanted to thank Emily for joining me and for being Ice as well because like
Having
sometimes
me.
there has to be Ice and like for having that and like for this conversation because it has been so much fun.
I've been
I
loving
really
it.
enjoyed it. Thank you,
I'm gonna
friend.
have you. I'm gonna get you back on my channel. Like we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
We'll be doing more of this.
we need to do something. Also, I have an idea for the podcast with Audra as well. So I
Yes.
need to
Yes. Yes.
message
Yes.
you about that. But you know my brain. Sometimes I reply in my head.
You and me both. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for having me, Fefy. This was really so much fun. Thank you to everybody that's been hanging out and
yeah, yeah.
um,
So
being
I
amazing
hope
humans.
so. Next week, I
Ooh.
believe, if I'm not mistaken, next week I also have a collab.
Ooh.
Yes, I do. Next week we're going to have a podcast with the one, the only Mo. So
Yay!
yeah,
I
it's
love
going
the
to be a whole bunch
collabs.
of fun. So I hope you join me next week for one more thing. Now I'm going to press the button. Bye everyone. All right. No, I can't press the button yet. I need to raid. I am a mess. Okay. Let me raid.
I thought that was the button. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I am here. You're going to hear typing because I am a mess.
You are perfect and wonderful, and don't stress. We will raid the one.
Where's the raid command? Sometimes I do this flawlessly. Sometimes I'm a disaster. Let's see if yes, it's about to happen.
Yay! A
Okay,
raid!
so now we're doing actually doing the thing. Sorry, everyone. Start raid. We're going to raid. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yes, I did it.
Amazing.
Yes. Okay, so now I'm clicking the button. Bye.